The CERN shutdown just took a terrifying turn. Millions of women are suddenly reporting irregular periods and unexpected pregnancies. All of this started right after they shut down that massive machine.
If you don't know by now that CERN has shut down and some very strange and bizarre things are going on, some things are just unexplained, from human changes to earth changes to just weird, bizarre things coming back. People were missing things and now all of a sudden they're back. But I think the one that has me tripped up the most, and I've seen hundreds of comments just in my posts and other people's posts, that there is massive amounts, and I mean massive amounts of women that are reporting two things, and they could be correlated since this shutdown. The first thing is women are reporting that they're having no period or double periods and they're not pregnant. Now, the flip side, which makes this even more bizarre, is then you have women who have tried to get pregnant and they couldn't get pregnant for nothing. And now all of a sudden, could be pure coincidence that CERN is shut down, women are able to get pregnant again.
He's not exaggerating. There are thousands of comments online, women sharing what they're going through, and some are even posting videos about it.
It was brought to my attention that millions of women have had different or off periods this summer, and I have been regular for 6 years. Like, I had an eating thing a long time ago, didn't get a period for like 3 years, and I have been so on the dot within the hour every single month for 5 continuous years. I got my period in June a full week early and I bled for 10 days. I bleed for normally 4 days, and my boyfriend just sent me this TikTok or reel that said millions of women had irregular periods. Women on menopause were getting or bleeding during the June month, and I'm just like, who else in my community had experienced this? Because our body clocks keep score, and women especially, we house a lot of energy. So I'm just wondering what is happening in the universe right now.
Normally, the mainstream media wouldn't even touch a story like this, but this one is so serious that legacy media is trying to come up with explanations for this global phenomenon. What do you think about these explanations?
Has your period been acting a little bit out of the ordinary in the last month or so? If the heat hasn't been unbearable enough, women are finding it's also affecting their menstrual cycles. Videos are popping up all over online, with some women saying they're getting 2 periods in 1 month, while some have missed theirs altogether. But does the weather really play a part? The monthly cycle that we go through is really susceptible to change. And that's likely why the recent weather has affected some people.
Did you know the military has been studying the use of forest fires as a weapon since 1970?
Truly shocking. Forest fire is a military weapon. Final report, June 1970. Yet more insanity from the military-industrial complex. This formally classified U.S. military report provides in-depth detail on the methods the military uses to prepare vast swaths of forests for extremely intense forest fire incinerations. The United States Forest Service provided much of the data for the U.S. military. Question: is that really the job description for the Forest Service, to instruct the U.S. military on how to, quote, set the stage for maximum intensity forest fire incinerations by months-long atmospheric spraying of desiccants and defoliants? Are U.S. citizens and populations around the world now in the same category as the Viet Cong were during the U.S. invasion of Vietnam? Even more disturbing about this report is the fact that it includes specific data that outlines the best engineered forest fire incineration timing for various regions in the U.S.
But surely that's just theoretical military research. It's not like anyone has been spraying our forests with chemicals.
The Forest Service is spraying glyphosate in the forests of Lake Tahoe and the surrounding areas. They're using the herbicide as a tool for forest management and burn scars, and even in recreational areas like trails and campgrounds. This needs to stop, and it's going to be up to all of us.
So yeah, that fog outside your window, I'm sure it's completely natural. Nothing strange about it.
Okay, this is the smoke in Traverse City. See, you can hardly see the water. It is so bad. I can feel it in my throat. Not good. Traverse City, Michigan today. You can still see the water, but you can't see very far. There's the sun. Can't even see the sun.
Do you remember when Kyrie Irving took a huge risk and tried to warn us about Bill Gates and his friends taking all our water?
I still think it's weird that, the Gates family or Bill Gates owns a lot of the, land in North Dakota. I think that's weird. He owns the majority of the water in the United States. I think that's weird.
It's kind of crazy how water has suddenly become a much more valuable commodity since he said that, all because data centers are funded by these same billionaires.
In Utah, Kevin O'Leary, also known as Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank, just received an approval for a $100 billion AI data center in the desert. That facility alone will consume more than double the energy the entire state uses in a year. It's likely going to further drain the already shrinking Great Salt Lake, creating toxic dust that harms surrounding communities. There are no federal regulations limiting how much water one data center can use. There are no requirements that they have to use recycled water instead of drinking water.
And that wasn't even the wildest thing Kyrie talked about during that live stream. He also brought up something even stranger.
This whole celebrity idea is eroding. The whole fame idea is eroding. That shit was sold to us, y'all. You got people out here that are human, that are acting every day of their life. They're not even real. They just on NPC shit. Every day they acting. They don't even know. The world is a stage, dog. And it's a lot of terrible actors. It's a lot of terrible actors out here. The world is a stage. There's a lot of terrible actors, dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it, dog. I'm just going to say it. I tried to tell Spice beforehand I said it, but the whole idea of celebrity, bro, if you're not a real person and you can't stand on your morals and principles out here, move out the way. If you can't stand on any principles and morals out here as a person that's trying to see this world become better, move out the way for the time being.
People are looking back at those comments in a very different light after everything we've seen recently.
I don't exist. So they're all characters that I've played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. Jim Carrey was a less intentional character, right, because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character. I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
My favorite funny face is the one I'm wearing right now.
Millions of iPhone users are suddenly reporting something strange. Their phones are getting hotter. Battery life is dropping faster than ever. And now some people are wondering if it's all part of a bigger plan.
Has anyone else noticed that the performance of their iPhone has dropped significantly in the past few months? I first noticed it after that last update. It looked like my phone was working harder to do the same tasks, but I've noticed something even worse since then, which is that my phone used to last 2 days on a single charge. It now doesn't even make it through a single day. I think that this is extremely convenient timing for Apple when they are releasing the iPhone 18 soon. I think that their plan is to release updates to make everyone's iPhones slower so that they're forced to upgrade to that iPhone 18. Apple keeps us locked in this cage by preventing us from being able to downgrade easily to a prior OS. And they pretend like your only option is to continue to be forced into these updates. And as I'm making this video, I'm getting a 20% battery remaining notification in the top of my screen, despite only having charged my phone like 30 minutes ago to 40%. It has lost 10% of its battery just making this video, and I have the latest iPhone.
Have you heard the terrifying story of the Instagram face? This rabbit hole is darker than most people realize. Some people believe our social media overlords can now change billions of human faces by simply tweaking their algorithms.
In 2019, I wrote about Instagram face, the phenomenon in which the most visible faces on Instagram had begun to resemble one another. Their faces were basically contoured by the algorithm, one injection at a time, reconfigured as a consumer guide and a disciplinary manual. Today, things have escalated significantly. Ordinary women can get Instagram face at the strip mall, and the rich and famous are getting facelifts instead.
I got my third facelift. Right. And I thought, new face, new tour.
That demographic, because it's highly overrepresented in our visual culture, it shapes what people think is normal. From 2019 to 2022, there was a 75% increase in patients aged 19 and under getting Botox. Many young women living in dialogue with what's on their phones have gone from thinking proactive Botox sounds nice and practical to believing that visible aging should be treated like a disease.
Did we ever find out the identity of all those people running around with guns after Charlie Kirk's assassination? Did Kash Patel ever tell us why they didn't interview a front row witness of Charlie Kirk's assassination for weeks?
If you're new to seeing my face, I was in the front row of the Charlie Kirk thing. It's kind of hard for me to say it, but I was there. If you haven't seen all that, go to my page. You'll see all of it. But what I'm going to talk about right now is the interview that I had on Real America's Voice. They reached out to me after seeing my videos. Long story short, they reach out to me like on an interview, like on the news. At the end of the interview, basically, he was like, okay, real quick, like long story short, has the FBI like reached out to you yet to see like your witness statement, like whatnot? And I just said no. And it was like this kind of dramatic, like, no. And he was like, well, okay, wow, like, So I'm going to be telling that story while I'm repotting this from this into this plant that I just got, and they're supposed to grow pretty tall. So basically, it was like a super dramatic thing. And then the next day, I get a call from an unknown number, and I was like, huh, that's weird. I wonder who this is. Like, I literally thought in my head, I'm like, oh, this has to be like the FBI. He called me and he was like, hey, is this Chance Gilbert? And I was like, yes. Like, hey man, in our records somehow we found you, and were you there on like the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination? And I was like, yes, I was. So the dude called me and he's like, hey, is this Chance? And I was like, yeah. Found you on our records, like facial recognition or something, that you like might have been at the Charlie Kirk assassination event. And I was like, yeah, that's me. It was like probably like 2 weeks after the actual event for timeline. I was like, yeah, man, like I was there. And he's like, yeah, well, what we would like to have you do is come down to the station, you know, and get like a verbal statement and a written statement from you, like an official statement. Yeah. I was just like, yeah, man, like I love to help any way that I can, and like clearing up any like stuff that's going around. Man, like I've kind of been waiting for this, expecting this call like ever since it happened. Like me and my buddy were just like talking after the fact. I was there with my two buddies, and we were like, I wonder how long it's gonna take for like the FBI to like get in contact with us, or like a documentary about Charlie Kirk in that day, kind of like the Travis Scott documentary where they had people like from Travis Scott there, that kind of thing. And so we were just talking about it, and so I was just waiting for that phone call. Yeah, pause from the story. This is how it's looking. You always want to fill it like kind of an inch. Looking pretty nice. Let's go water. Okay, do me a favor and don't pay any mind to my dishes in the sink. So I went in and just went down to like the agent station, like the police department, whatever you call it. I don't really know what it was. He just sent me an address. And it was all just like over phone number, which I was kind of surprised about. Just like texting with an SBI agent. He was like, yeah, come here, pull up. And I was like, all right, bet. My buddy's was like 20 minutes long, and mine was 2 hours. When I got in, he was like, hey, yeah, how's it going? Yeah, my name's Agent Schultz, yada, yada. Basically what this is for are just court hearings, or like the court, if they need to like get witness statements or like watch witness statements to see what happened, like that they can. And I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I'd love to share. I went on for the next like 2 hours just ranting off about like what happened and like all the conspiracies. If you haven't seen my videos, where they initially said the bullet came from is where I heard it come from. wherever that building was, or wherever they say it was, like 200 yards away on that building, like 200 yards away from up top. Like, I made a whole video about it, so I'm not gonna explain it again because it's really easy to like misunderstand what I'm saying. I went into all the depth on that and like how I felt as it happened, and I wrote a statement that was like 4 pages long, and then honestly, like, that was it. Sorry I don't have like a big ending to the story. That was basically it. And as a side note here, I'm just gonna trim off some of the branches that don't look like they're doing too hot. Like this one has a hole in it. That's gonna go, just to make sure it's not giving any energy to growth that doesn't need to happen. But by the end, he was just like, yeah, thanks for your thing. Like, we'll reach out if we have any other questions. And I was like, cool. And so that was it. Like, to give a witness statement, like a formal witness statement to seeing like something that crazy, like it was pretty simple process. But yeah, if there's any questions that you have, put them in the comments and I'll probably answer them with a video.
Is there a reason why ChatGPT still keeps telling people that Charlie Kirk isn't dead? What does it know that we don't?
Hey Chad, when did Charlie Kirk get assassinated?
Charlie Kirk hasn't been assassinated. He's still alive. If you heard something along those lines, it might have been a rumor or misinformation. Let me know if you need more reliable info.
Hold up. He's still alive.
Yep, he's still around and very active. If you ever hear shocking news like that, it's always good to double check.
Can you do a web search real quick?
According to recent news, Charlie Kirk was fatally shot on September 10th, 2025, during an event with Turning Point USA. Any claims suggesting he is still alive are inaccurate.
All right, so there's no conspiracy underneath the hood there where he's still alive. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. The information is well documented. If you've seen rumors suggesting otherwise, it's best to rely on official.
So can you explain why you told me that he was still alive and kicking?
I'm really sorry for the confusion earlier. I rely on up-to-date sources and I check them only after you ask for a web search. Initially, I was going off general knowledge, not recent events. Now that we've got accurate info, I appreciate your understanding.
All right, when is your knowledge cut off?
My general knowledge stops at June 2024. So for anything that's happened after that, I rely on web searches or fresh updates. That's why if something recent comes up, I'll double check in real time.
Okay. What was the last thing that happened in your knowledge base? The very last thing.
The very last thing I'd know without looking anything up would be from June 2024. But there's no single.
Give me a significant event from that day.
A significant event around mid-2024 was the 2024 U.S. presidential election campaigns ramping up. Candidates were actively preparing for.
Who do you think won?
I can't predict or know outcomes beyond my cutoff.